Hello there, Guyana. You've asked for it. It is finally here. The Wake Up Guyana Show with yours truly, Leonard Gildari. Monday to Friday, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Make your voices be heard. Call us, text us. Kaieteur Radio 99.1, 99.5 FM. The Wake Up Guyana Show.
Let December 2020 be one to remember. Drive away with an Axio car from Predo Baby. With 4 different options to win, follow us on Facebook at Predo Baby South America. Predo Baby diaper is known for its premium quality and high absorbency level. It keeps your baby dry and comfortable with its stretchy waistband. Available in regular paste and pull-up pants style from newborn to stage 7. See press for details or contact us on 233-2473. Predo Baby, the diaper of the new generation.
This is the news on top of the hour.
Live from our studio in Georgetown.
Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 FM.
Hello and welcome to your news at noon here on Kaieteur Radio for December 11, 2020. Kevin Smith here, the news in capsule. The news at noon comes to you with the compliments of Predo Baby. My apologies. These are the top stories we're tracking. Christopher Ram says in the Kaieteur and Kanji oil blocks giveaway, Robert Prasad return fosters a culture of suspicion. World's top oil trader paid bribes for years to government, and Christopher Ram says billions of tax dollars spent, and PPP and APNUFC teamed up to hide expense report for 2020 elections. Meanwhile, 2019 Auditor General's report handed over to House Speaker, Sussex Street Drug Bond and SLED program, and Leg 1 Stelling targeted. Meanwhile, new GPHC board to address surgeries backlog. Stay tuned to stay informed.
This Christmas, Shake to Win just got bigger! Now when you purchase our new bigger Digital Prime bundle and Shake to Win, you can choose your prize and share it with someone you love. So, shake more and share more! Share more daily prizes and guaranteed wins every Saturday. You can win laptops, cash, smartphones, credit, data, and so much more. Shake more, share more. Activate a Digital Prime bundle in the My Digital app and Shake to Win this Christmas.
It seems like children have been home from school forever, and you've done baking, drawing, schoolwork, and played Ring of Roses about 100 times. We've all been under some strain lately, but let us embrace our children. They're under strain too. Let's show them more love, patience, and care. Let's help to build their resilience in these trying times. Not just today or tomorrow, but for the future. Their future.
A message from the Child Care and Protection Agency, Ministry of Human Services and Social Security, and UNICEF.
And now for the news in detail. Even though the local media corps, along with global transparency bodies, have made relentless calls for an international probe to ascertain the truth about the giveaway of the Kaieteur and Kanji blocks to industry unknowns, the PPPC remains unmoved. Along with its slothfulness to take action in this regard, it even appointed Robert Prasad as Foreign Secretary, in spite of concerns about the role he played in the suspicious award of the nation's prime assets. Chartered accountant and attorney-at-law Christopher Ram posited that such a move by the PPPC only serves to foster a culture of corruption or suspicion. Meanwhile, for years, the world's largest oil trading firm has maintained that it has zero tolerance for corruption. Now, Vital Inc. has admitted that it was paying bribes through a network of shell companies and sham contracts. As recently as July 2020, while publicly repeating those assurances, Vital was bribing government officials in Ecuador and Mexico. In Brazil, a Vital executive delivered cash to traders at Petróleo Brasileiro in exchange for the price at which Vital should bid to win tenders from the Brazilian state oil company. The revelations are described by the Petrobras chief as an MBA in corruption. In other news, the Representation of the People's Act has clear provisions that mandate political parties submit a detailed report outlining expenses undertaken during the election period. Nonetheless, the PPPC and the APNU-AFC teamed up to blatantly violate the Constitution by failing to submit their reports to GCOM for the March 2, 2020 elections. This was revealed by chartered accountant and transparency advocate Christopher Ram. Ram added that the violation was being condoned by the commissioners, the chair, or successive chairpersons of the commission. Meanwhile, after a 2-month delay, Speaker of the House Manzoor Nadir yesterday received the 2019 Auditor General's report from Auditor General Deodat Sharma. The Auditor General noted several limitations that arose due to the COVID-19 pandemic that led to the delay in the report being handed over. Notably, 3 special investigations were finalized for the period October to November 2020. These include the Ministry of Public Health Drug Bond, Ministry of Public Infrastructure, Legwan Stelling Rehabilitation, and the Ministry of Social Protection, Sustainable Livelihood and Entrepreneurial Development. And moving on, Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony has instructed the newly appointed board of the Georgetown Public Hospital to address several planned surgeries that have been backlogged since March. He said that the hospital will soon administer these surgeries since the Georgetown Public Hospital now holds the capacity. This is in light of the COVID-19 intensive care and transition patients who were previously housed at the hospital now being transferred to the Lillian Dahl Infectious Disease Hospital. The ministry stressed that the transfer of the patients has enabled the hospital to return to normalcy after dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic since its onset in March. It is now 12 hours 5. Coming up after the break, contractors failing to pay NIS should not receive compliance for government contracts. Haitians opted to leave holding center for hotel, says government, and chain snatcher captured and tied like iguana to utility pole. Meanwhile, Minister Waldron was a U.S. citizen at the time of swearing in, court hears, and the Attorney General says error was corrected. Meanwhile, EU releases almost $95 million to Guyana as budget support. Do stay tuned.
This is GHK Lal inviting you to join me weekdays from Monday to Friday on the National Outlook for commentary on a range of issues. Immediately after the 12 noon and 7 p.m. newscasts on Kaieteur Radio at 99.1 FM and 99.5 FM. Looking forward to you sharing in the conversation.
Welcome back. Let us continue with the news. Contractors failing to make NIS payments on behalf of their employees should not be given the compliance needed for them to acquire contracts. This view was offered by the Minister of Labour, Joseph Hamilton. The minister was asked why contractors who are not NIS compliant be in receipt of contracts for construction and other state contracts, including in the security arena. Further, it was asked what course of action could be taken by the Ministry of Labour. According to Minister Hamilton, the Labour Ministry has no mandate in that regard. He said the NIS is governed under its own statutes and regulations. Meanwhile, the government is categorically rejecting allegations that it is responsible for leaving 26 Haitian nationals stranded on the city streets. They were released from the Hugo Chavez Center late Wednesday night on their own volition. In a statement issued yesterday, the government appeared to be taking the reports of the Haitians seriously. Government noted that following the order by Chief Justice Roxanne George Wiltshire to temporarily halt the deportation of the 26 non-nationals, steps were taken to release them. According to the statement, this step was taken since it could not be determined when the legal proceedings will be concluded. In other news, it was a spectacle yesterday after public-spirited citizens reportedly captured an alleged chain snatcher and tied him like an iguana to a utility pole. We were told that he had snatched a woman's gold chain on Robb Street, Georgetown, and attempted to escape. He was captured by 4 men on North Road and was reportedly beaten and then tied with a rope to a utility pole in the vicinity of Piccadilly Taxi Service and Global Gold Inc. His feet were not touching the ground, and his muscles and bones were given a full stretch as his captors awaited the arrival of police. And now let's tell you, Chief Justice Roxanne George Wiltshire yesterday handed down a decision that Minister of Tourism, Industry and Commerce Onij Waldron is not a lawful member of the National Assembly, given that she was a U.S. citizen at the time she was sworn in by President Irfan Ali. The ruling comes after Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Anil Nandlal admitted to the court that Waldron's appointment as a technocrat minister was made before she relinquished her U.S. citizenship. The Attorney General said that necessary steps have since been taken to rectify the situation after the government realized that it erred in appointing Waldron back in August 2020. As such, he said the Minister Waldron will sit in the National Assembly as an unelected member when it convenes. And now let's tell you the second tranche of funds from the EU budgetary support program to the tune of $19.8 billion, or in excess of $90 million was officially released yesterday to Guyana. In a statement, the EU explained that budget support is a proof of trust and of a true partnership, as the funds are channeled to the national treasury and implemented by the government under agreed indicators. This latest disbursement brings the total released to Guyana at $51.6 billion. The last tranche of funds, around some $20 billion, is expected to be released shortly as the program comes to an end. It is 12 hours 10 now for your COVID-19 update. The number of worldwide coronavirus cases, according to Worldometer, has reached 70.9 million, with deaths at 1.5 million and recovery cases at 49.3 million. The Ministry of Health yesterday reported that of the 79 newly recorded COVID-19 cases, Region 10 accounted for 26 of them. The newly recorded cases have increased the number of confirmed cases in the country to 5,811. The COVID-19 death toll remains at 154, while 4,925 persons have recovered. 6 persons are in the COVID-19 ICU at the Liliendal Infectious Disease Hospital, and 42 in institutional quarantine. 26 are in institutional isolation, while 684 persons are in approved home isolation. And coming from CNN, the 116th Congress is entering a make-or-break moment. It can either collapse in a colossal failure, or it can all come together quickly to give struggling Americans some desperately needed relief. And now there's a possibility this Congress can end how it began, in a government shutdown. Meanwhile, a key panel charged with evaluating the first coronavirus vaccine candidate in the U.S. raced against the clock on Thursday in the quest to save American lives, a stark contrast with the dithering excuses and appalling lack of action on Capitol Hill, where lawmakers are struggling to strike a deal to send emergency pandemic relief to millions of Americans and may fail once again to avert a government shutdown at midnight. Meanwhile, vaccine advisors to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration voted yesterday to recommend the agency grant emergency use authorization of Pfizer and BioNTech's coronavirus vaccine. 17 members of the Vaccines and Related Biological Products Advisory Committee voted yes, 4 voted no, and 1 abstained. And that brings us to the end of today's News at Noon. I am Kevin Smith. Thank you for listening. Remember, the News at Noon came to you with the compliments of Predo Baby.
Let December 2020 be one to remember. Drive away with an Axio car from Predo Baby with 4 different options to win. Follow us on Facebook at Predo Baby South America. Predo Baby diaper is known for its premium quality and high absorbency level. It keeps your baby dry and comfortable with its stretchy waistband. Available in regular paste and pull-up pants style from newborn to stage 7. See press for details or contact us on 233-2473. Predo Baby, the diaper of the new generation.
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on Kaieteur Radio's newscasts. Stream to live